Hey there, welcome to another episode of Kuma's Kitchen. And what I've got here is something I created I call whiskey, date, fig, and walnut bread. Yeah, chock-a-block full of whiskeyed up dates and figs, walnuts. Look at that inside there. That is a dense bread. Now, it's dense, it's moist, it smells great. Kind of like, this could be a new Christmas cake, actually. Now, if you're happy with a little bit of icing on top like that, that's fine, that's delicious. However, when you go to make the recipe, I do make enough icing that you could get yourself a bowl full and spread some more on there if you want. Haha, yeah. If you're not an icing fiend like me, you can basically cut the icing recipe in half and you'd be happy, but oh yeah. Oh, I love that. There's a bit of whiskey flavor in that icing too, so really look at that. Oh, absolutely delicious. Yeah, this takes about 2 days to make because you gotta soak the dates and figs in whiskey overnight. Well, that's not a lot of work, is it? But really. And then the next day you make the bread itself. So a little preparation time, well worth it. So let's go in the kitchen and make this right now. All right, so right now we're just gonna do stage one of this. And this is done the night before, the day before. I need to soak the dates and the figs in the whiskey. That's got to soak overnight. We want to get that flavor in there. So what have we got here? Well, this is 1 cup of chopped dates. And that's 1 cup of chopped figs. So basically I've just taken figs and chopped them up into smaller pieces. Same with the dates, just chopped them across. If you're wondering what's the weight of that, it's about 160 grams, which is just under 6 ounces. It's roughly. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but we want to end up with about a cup of this of each. Then back here, a cup of whiskey. Now, there's nothing fancy. It's actually one of our local whiskeys here, Tori's Whiskey, made by Suntory. Suntory makes a bunch of different whiskeys. I like the Tori with the little bartender on there and all. And they make a great highball, which I sometimes drink in summer or on the train coming home from after a long day of work, things like that. Really nice stuff. Yeah, it's not a fantastic whiskey, but it's not a bad whiskey either. It's a nice whiskey. All right, and for this, we're cooking, so we don't really need to get anything too fancy. That's going to do the job. So now what I want to do is, now I'm going to put, I just put it in a bowl or something like that, but I'm going to put it in this because this has a lid. I'm going to leave this overnight. I can put a lid on it, keep any flying insects or whatever out of there. So let's put the figs down in there. All right, and let's get the dates in there. Then I'm going to want to mix those around a little bit. Just the figs at the bottom. So get a little mix around like that. There we go. That'll do for right now. I'm going to pour that whiskey in there. All right, now we're going to just kind of mix around again and kind of push down. I want to get most of the fruit is all just sitting in the whiskey, so that's perfect. So just push down so that it's all sitting there, able to suck up some of that whiskey. There we go. That's all ready to go. Now I'm just going to put a lid on it. Gonna sit overnight. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make the bread. All right, so that's been soaking overnight. What I did, I came in this morning, I just kind of took a spoon, went down, mixed it around to make sure that, anything I've been sitting on top was going to get a little bit of that whiskey. Now what I want to do, well, that's good. What I do now is I want to drain off the excess whiskey, which we're going to have other use for. So let's see how much we get out here without spilling dates and figs all over the place. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just That's a beautiful liquid that is. All right, so it's going to be about a minute here, letting the liquid drain out. All right, that's looking good. I got one little piece of date jumped in there. There we go. Okay, gonna set that aside. Like that is like a syrup. Oh yeah. All right, so put those off to one side for right now. Let's go over the ingredients that we got here that we're adding in today. So across the front, we've got 2 eggs. We've got a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of baking soda, a half a cup of butter melted, half a cup of plain yogurt, a cup of walnut pieces, a cup of flour, and a cup of brown sugar, or blonde sugar. My usual, I always like to use the unrefined cane sugar. Let's put you over there right now. All right, gonna take a big bowl, and I'm gonna put the flour in there. The baking soda and baking powder, they can all go in there. The salt, the two spices here. All right, and then I'm just gonna take a whisk and just kind of mix that around a bit. Make sure we got it evenly distributed. All right, put that off to one side, because next thing to do is take this bowl and we crack the eggs in there. So 1 egg. These are those beautiful eggs I get here that are just not yellow yolks, orange yolks, rich in goodness. Okay, put you off to one side, and then I'm just going to whisk those eggs. And once that's whisked up a bit, in goes the yogurt. We might need to help that a bit. Oh no, it's all coming out real nice. Okay. All right, so the yogurt's in there. Mix that in. So we kind of break up all that yogurt into the egg. That's looking really good. Now the butter. We'll just start whisking that right away. We don't want the butter to cook the egg. So I'm just gonna get it whisked in all throughout. All right, that's good to go. Now the sugar. All right, gonna mix that in there. That's looking great. All right, then put that over there. We're gonna take the flour. We're gonna take the, I guess I could have kept, oh, the whisk is loaded up. I'm gonna grab a spoon. Gonna drag that, pour that into the flour mixture. Mix that batter up. You don't want any big lumps of flour, because this is going to just make little dry pockets in your bread, so smoosh those down. All right, now in goes the walnuts. Mix those in there. Now goes the dates and the figs. Oh yeah, that's looking great. Mix that all together. And that is about ready to go into a pan and go into the oven. So let's put all this stuff off to one side. What I've got over here, I've prepared a pan and I've lined it with paper. So what I always do is just butter the inside of the pan a little bit and make some paper stick nicely. Just makes it so much easier. Cut some baking paper, and now we're gonna pour this in there. This is a big, a regular loaf pan or baking bread or any of that. All right, so we're gonna. Oh, that's good. Just gonna use this to make sure I get it all out of there. And into the pan it goes. Oh, made a little bit of mess on the side. There we go. All right, just spread it out even. It's gonna be pretty easy. It's a very wet batter, so very easy to get in here. All right. Oh, tasting good just like that. All right, let's go in the oven over there. 325 degrees, 170 degrees Celsius. We're gonna keep the temperature low because we're gonna bake it for a long time. We're gonna bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Then we're gonna take it out of the oven, give it a toothpick test, make sure it's done, and then, well, we'll be just about there. We got one more step to go. All right, see you back here once it comes out of the oven. All right, that's been 1 hour and 15 in the oven, and that is looking very nice indeed. Yes, so what I'm gonna do now is I want to do the skewer test or toothpick test. I like to use these skewers. Down we go. Go in there. Well, that's coming out pretty good. A little tiny bit on there, but that's looking, yeah. So just do a couple different places. Get down. We're not getting a lot of wet crumbs on there or anything like that, so that's good. That's ready to go. What I want to do now is we're going to cool this because we're going to ice it later on. Yeah, that's going to be a little extra taste sensation on there. So let's move that up to one side. Going to get a drying rack in here. Kind of drying rack, cooling rack. This ain't laundry. And then, well, just carefully lift this out of here. That's the nice thing about using this paper. Look at that. Out we go. On there. Oh, that's looking nice. What I'm going to do now too is I'm just going to slide that paper out if I can. Okay, because that's going to help it cool. Let's get this out of the way. That's going to help it cool a bit faster. So I want to cool this before I try doing any icing. So let's see. Oh, first of all, let's do it crossways across there. All right. Ooh, crumbs. All right, slide that. Ooh, that's hot. Slide that off. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool. And little yummies there. After that's cooled down, come back. I'm going to put a special icing on there. It's going to be a little different than usual. Well, because there's something special going in there. All right. See you back here shortly. All right. That's cooled down to room temperature, and that's perfect. We don't want any heat in there because we're going to be icing it, and we don't want icing the heat underneath. The icing won't set. It'll melt off. It'll be a big mess. We don't want that. So let's get going on the icing now. What do we got up here? I've got a half a cup of butter at room temperature, so it's soft. It's going to be easy to cream. I've got over here 6 ounces or 170 grams of cream cheese, also at room temperature. And over here, I've got 2 cups of icing. Now, across the back is our secret ingredient. Remember we drained off the dates and figs, that whiskey we drained off? Look at that. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like temptation to drink it, but no, we need some of this for the icing. So let's put it off to one side for right now. Put it over here. All right, big bowl. First thing I want to do, I'm going to take a wooden spoon, put the butter in here. Looks like some of that butter needs to be helped. All right, so get all that butter in there. And we're also going to get that cream cheese in there. That came out clean, okay. And now I'm just going to cream, let's put the icing sugar up front a bit. Going to cream that butter and sugar together. Since it's been at room temperature, that's going to be pretty easy. So away we go. We want to just cream it until it's all smooth butter, cream cheese all together in one thing. All right. Now, just get that excess off there. We want all this goodness in here. All right. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the electric mixer. And whip that up a bit more. Then I'm going to start adding in the icing sugar. So a little bit at a time. Okay, after that first batch has gotten nice and smooth, a little bit more icing sugar. All right, work that in. Just keep working in the icing sugar. All right, now before I do the rest of the icing sugar, I'm gonna get some of this in there. So I'm gonna take a teaspoon. Just take a teaspoon of that delicious liquid. Let's add one more teaspoon. So I got 2 teaspoons in there right now. Let's keep track of that, okay? Because we never know exactly how much the icing sugar can take. Sometimes the humidity air can affect it, you know, how dry it is, how well you measure it, everything can affect it. So I'm just going to put 2 teaspoons in right now and start mixing that together. Get a bit more icing sugar. Okay, I got a feeling I can take another teaspoon, so let's get that in there. Yeah, just go with 1 right now, just to be safe. We don't want it too runny. That is looking actually just right. Let's have a little taste. Just a little hint of the whiskey in there. All right, I think that's going to be good. Let's see how spreadable it is. That looks perfect. Then the stuff on the sides, get that mixed in. All right, so let's clean this up first. What are you going to do with these? Lick them clean. All right, that's that job done. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. All right, now we got the icing here. That's ready. What we do have here is quite a bit of leftover whiskey drainage from the dates and figs. What are you gonna do with that? Well, we put about a tablespoon in there, 3 teaspoons. You're gonna be probably anywhere between 3, maybe 4 teaspoons, depending on your icing sugar and all that. But for us, that's just right. So what do we do with the rest? Oh, that's just like nectar. So you've got the whiskey in there, but with all the date and fig. Oh, it just tastes like drinking nectar. I'm gonna enjoy that. So let's start icing this. What I want to do first of all, I want to put it into a pan or a plate or something, but this pan just fits perfectly to it. I get rid of that cooling rack, and then just gonna start slathering on that icing. All right, so that's about as thick as you can go with the icing on here, but we've got a bunch more in here. So I'm gonna do that and put that in a nice little bowl and serve that up alongside. So anybody wants more icing, which I love icing. So I don't know, if you decide that that's enough for you, basically half the recipe will do for just on top there. But I'm gonna recommend making more and just slathering it. Like you cut yourself a slice and slather more on there. Mwah! So good. This is something you definitely got to try. So I do definitely recommend making this bread. It is fantastic. Just the smell alone right now is so good. If you like this, you like this kind of fusion recipes, these wild ideas, stick around. Check out the channel. There's a lot more original Kevin Riley recipes on here. These are the things that my mind comes up with, just a weird brain farts, to think of a better word, that come out of me, and I come up with ideas for making recipes. Check them out. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss new ones when they come out, and also click that notification bell, because I make sure that you're going to know about it when a new recipe comes out and not miss one. Now, go make this and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.